What's up, guys? This is Frenzy. Welcome back to Viewer Castles. Today we're going to start out with Wysley, castle level 20. Jump into it on my archer. Let's see here. Alright, so a pull through the wall, or not a pull through the wall. I should have been able to see them leave. I stepped right up there, but I guess not. Alright. So, I don't really care about killing this bad dog, I don't think. But I guess if I can help it, I won't. Pete Poundmore's pretty much die in one Caltrops and a couple headshots, like with some auto attacks mixed in between. That's why I stopped using them, and I might start again just because they're a little annoying for knights to deal with sometimes. And I like elites, and I've been spamming like over and over them. And I think maybe Pete Poundmore's a little bit better than Jimbo, so I might start using him. All in all, I think that maybe... This group is okay, but I would prefer it to be a little bit farther back, like behind this fire. So you have the two Cyclops kind of coming up. Maybe you go through the fire, the two Cyclops come, you start to go back this way through the fire here, and then maybe the Hungerbot comes up and pulls you or something like that. I might like that a little bit better, but nothing too big to say thus far. Alright, so with this one already, I can say something. These Stairmasters, the specialization that you have it on right there, will only tick for, like, at max 40 damage until they get up to level 4 Stairmasters, which is level 28, I believe. And then they randomly just go up to, like, 200 or something, or like 400, I don't even know. But it's a lot, it's a huge increase, and that's the only time that that specialization really gets useful, in my opinion. So I would prefer to either probably just switch out the Stairmaster. You can use, you know, the other different specializations as well, but I don't think that's a good room for it, so. Alright. This one's not too bad. I think this room is alright. It's a little weak to volley, but you noticed I still took quite a bit of damage there. Basically, if you stand and tank it, it's going to do a reasonable amount of damage, so I think that's okay. Alright, this should be a pull through the wall, maybe? You have a lot of weird fake snotters. There's actually quite a few of them, which isn't a bad thing. I think it's pretty good. Alright, so you had this guy kind of going to be flanking you. I like the flank in this room with the Zeke, on headshot specifically. You kind of have it so that, you know, I'm going to be halfway down this hallway, and I'm going to attack these guys. The Zeke's going to come around and be shooting me all the way down that hallway. I'm going to have to go back and deal with him. So I like that pretty good. Alright, I took the Jimbo shot. And it looks like I double pulled. Jimbo in here is kind of... It's okay. It's not the smallest room to fight Jimbo in. But it's not the worst room either to use him in. The Hungerbot here is kind of weird. Are these fire traps? No. Yeah, I'm not sure why you have the Hungerbot here. You could probably switch that out for like another archer or something for higher DPS. Because all that's really going to do is, like, if I'm a knight, I'm fighting this Cyclops, it's going to pull me to the archer, and I'm going to be able to take that out a little bit quicker, so. Alright. Good time waster here. Nothing to really say about it. You can use it pretty much anywhere, and it'll be fine. Same basic thing, except for the fact that they weren't linked to begin with. So, you know, now they're going to be linked, but there is a chance where I could probably kite this guy away far enough, maybe, that I'm able to take him out before the linking process goes through. Not the biggest deal in the world, really. You still have to kill both of them, and it's still going to take a pretty high amount of time. It just keeps the Robo Shieldotron alive a little bit longer. These guys, if you're going to use them, spread them out a little bit more than this, I would say. You know, put one up towards the front and two up towards the back or something. That way they don't all get volleyed right off the bat. But yeah, I mean, the main thing is you use quite a few archers through here. and not really all that many elites. The only elites he really used here were in the boss room, and then like a Scorpio and a couple Jimbos and maybe a Pete Poundmore, I think. But there was quite a few groups that didn't have elites in it, which makes high DPS volley archers get you through your castle really, really quickly, if you're noticing. Like, I'm 4 levels over you or something, so obviously I'm going to make it through. I'm going to hardly get any loot, and your shields are going to be up for like an hour or something. But the same thing will apply to someone who's like level 22, 21, something like that. They'll be able to get through with 45 or so seconds on the clock just because they volley a lot and kill off all those trash mobs. There's a couple things you can do. You can, switch some stuff out for more elites. You can add in Defendatrons on AoE to prevent volleys from like one-shotting all your creatures right away. Honestly, once you get Mega Mutton, you can throw those in there as well, and it'll be quite a bit better. So yeah, we'll jump into number 2 in just a second. Alright, for number 2 we have DrChristof, castle level 23. Also doesn't have his shields down, so maybe some more gold for the challenge. Not sure how long that challenge is on, so when you guys see this video, it may already be over. Alright, that healer is actually really annoying combined with the crab. The crab takes so little damage. Like, it doesn't have that many hit points, but it just takes so little damage that was actually healing it up to full almost every time. Obviously, it doesn't do all that much damage, the crab, but, you know, it's not the worst unit ever for time wasting, I suppose. I'm not sure where you had the Defendatron. As long as it was on the Bone Puppeteer, that's kind of what you want it to be on, so that would be fine. Alright, then you have another crab with a Robo Shieldatron, and the Robo Shieldatron defends the crab. That's okay. I might even say that the AoE is a little bit better here. Yeah, it doesn't matter really. I guess it's not bad, because either way one of them's going to get hit with a volley and not the other, so I think it's fine. It's just a time waster, so there's nothing really to say about it. I believe crabs have more survivability than Defendatrons, so this combo might actually be better than a Robo Shieldatron Defendatron combo, because that extra shielding doesn't really do much in that circumstance. Because the game like forces you to at least have one of the creatures be able to be hit. Oh, this could kill me. Yep. I can't believe I made that mistake. I haven't made that mistake in forever. Alright. Well, you got me killed, so there's not much I can say, and I might die again if I'm not careful, my god. This mousetrap is just giving me all sorts of problems. I might switch this out just for a mousetrap, just because of this. Because I'm having such a problem dealing with it. Although I think it's just because it's pretty late and I'm not concentrating as much as I normally do when I'm playing through these. But it's definitely good. I'm not going to say it's not. You notice how I didn't really have a reliable way of escaping there, and I ended up getting hit by that. That's nice, by the way. You kind of had this little time-wasting group here, and then you had the possibility of pulling you into another group. The only problem is you have a Defendatron, so even if I do pull a second group, it's not the end of the world. Like, this group plus this group isn't that scary. It's probably less scary than your boss room, even though it's 40 supply worth of mobs, just because it's less damage dealing units. So yeah. Personally, I might say, oh my god, don't hit me again. I might say you could switch out with the Defendatron. The problem is you are trying to do time wasting with it, so it depends on what you're really going for. I don't mind the one flanking Hungerbot all that much. Pete Poundmore is not really a big deal, at least for me. Alright, that's pretty good. Yeah, I like this room. Pulls you into the silence, that's good. And then you have the Defendatron with the Bone Puppeteer healing. It's good as well. I still can't believe I fell for that Stairmaster combo that's been being used for like years. It's kind of crazy. I haven't fell for that since before last patch. I mean, I knew it was coming, it was just the mouse wheel hit me. I'm really thinking that I might want to switch out for a mouse wheel just because that fact can happen. Like, the fact that it can happen. What just happened to me, you know? Alright, so a Scorpio trying to pull me into two groups. I'm gonna let it pull me into two groups, because why not? I want to see kind of the effect of what would happen if I do pull both of these groups. And it's a Mega Mutton with a Scorpio. I'm not sure if there was a healer pack, a healer in with this. I think you should have one though. If you don't, I think that's kind of a mistake. Either with one of these packs, probably with the Scorpio. Oh, that's gonna hurt. I'm taking a lot of needless damage this run, but your castle is pretty good. It's laid out very well. You know, all of your double pulls are working pretty properly. I would say, if you don't have a healing puppeteer with this, it's a good support to have when you have a double pull with elites like this. And I don't think your castle will go this way now. Alright. This is the same basic situation that I was in with that Stairmaster pull, where I don't really have a reliable escape. Oh god, that's gonna kill me. I am playing so bad right now. Alright. And for some reason that fire has bigger AoE than mouse traps do, which I guess makes sense. So I can stand in between these mouse traps, but I can't stand in between the fire. Alright. Okay, so I mean, this probably isn't ever going to hit anyone unless they are really, what's the word for it? Indecisive about what they want to do, right? They can come down here and they can see that they aggroed something and then try to like pull back, but pull back too slow, and that's the only circumstance that this will hit them with. Only because it's a little far back from the choke, so you're kind of like here already. And it's only going to reach the end of this choke, right? Your Hungerbot length will only reach about the end of that choke. So even if they run back down the choke like you kind of want them to, it'll be lined up, but it won't reach. And there's no slow at the front of this, which there can't be nowadays, to actually make this hit. But it's not bad. It's not a bad thing to do. I mean, you just have this little extra pack that there's a possibility of, you know, throwing you in with the boss room. Alright, so what do we have here? I think I saw... Is that a Scorpio? Yeah. Alright, so we'll kill off the Jimbo first. Although there is a healer, I think I can kill it before it gets healed. There we go. And then I want to deal with the support units next. Looks like I already killed the Bone Puppeteer. You can think about, you know, throwing in... I don't know how exactly you would work it out, but throwing in a Defendatron with the Bone Puppeteer, just to make him survive a volley. Not super important, but most archers will probably throw down a volley to kill off support units like I did. But yeah, it was a pretty good castle. I mean, it killed me, so there's not much really bad I can say about it. So we'll jump into number 3 in just a second. Alright, and next we have Sir.Duke. Again, castle level 17. Jump into it on my knight. Alright, so the archers are good. I like this. I would say if you can pull this back just slightly from the entrance, because you noticed, you know, I aggroed it, and then immediately after aggroing it, I just sort of ran back to this corner because it was so close to it, right? You want to make people... I mean, push it as far back into this room as possible, or even use a different room as your starting one, in order to set this up better, right? You want to have the hero, like, here or something, and even then it wouldn't really work because your aggro circles would be so clumped up, right? It's pretty difficult for you to get this any farther back. I mean, make sure your archers are actually just, like, touching the wall, Cyclops maybe right here, and then, like, two Snotters for spotting, but even then, if I get here and I pull something right around this area, I'm probably just going to run back to this corner. because there's not much wasted time if I run back to this corner, right? The best way that you can set this up is if I'm like this far in and I aggro a Snotter and I don't know what's coming to me, I may stand around a little bit and just dodge to see what's coming, to see if I have to pull back around the corner before I know these archers are there. That's what most people will do. So this is going to work out good. Yep, that's good. Only hit me for one of the Zeke shots. I'm not sure if there's anything you can do to make those Zeke shots come a little earlier. You know, it's something that you'll have to test out. There's nothing that I can really say about that. Make sure he's facing towards the hero. Make sure he's like not having to walk up any. You know, make sure he's within range. So, you know, he's standing here. Make sure he's starting to line up a shot as soon as the hero comes into view. The only thing you could do differently is try to delay the Cyclops a little bit, but that's a little bit scary because then you could miss all the Cyclops stun and all 3 of the shots. But ideally, you would want like one shot in the air simultaneously as the Cyclops running. The stun hits you, you get hit by that arrow, and then like one other one. And then maybe you get hit by the third, but it's a little bit harder to actually line that up. That's like the perfect way to get that set up, but sometimes it's difficult. So I'm guessing you have the same basic thing happening here. Again, what I said at the start of your castle, where there's not much lost for a hero when I aggro something here, there's not much lost for me to just kind of walk over here really quickly until I see what's coming. Whereas if you're down farther into the tunnel, there's a lot more chance of a hero saying, well, I don't want to go all the way back around that corner, let me see what's here. And also, if you're using archers, probably try to find a different spot for mines, just in general. But these mines like aren't going to interfere that much, but if you can put that one group back a little bit farther, it'll be better for you, I think. That's at least how I play. I don't know if everybody plays how I play, but... that's my basic thing that goes through my head when I pull a group. Is there a corner that I can get around that's close enough and won't spend 5 or more seconds to get around it, or, you know, 10 or more seconds or something like that. You know, a small amount of time. Alright, this is going to be kind of annoying for knights to deal with, as I've said. Oh my god, I actually got pulled by it. What is going on with me today? Alright. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Let's get the Hunger Bot out of here so I don't have to deal with that anymore. Alright, and these aren't all that scary now. But this is a good room. It's the same thing that I have set up in my castle. And it actually enters into the same thing that I have here. It looks like you do have it very similar to the way I have set up. If this Snotter pulls this group, it's kind of the same, except mine's over just slightly. I'm pretty sure. And then I'll say something else after I figure that out, I think. Maybe. I should have probably done it to test it, but I hate pulling 2 groups of elites. I think it's a lot more difficult. I mean, if I was on my archer, I wouldn't mind nearly as much, but let's make sure that that's... okay, so this one actually pulls this group. Let me think about that for a second. Okay, so I don't think I like it as much as the way I have mine set up. The way I have mine set up, you had your Snotter here, which was positioned to pull this group. How I have mine set up is I have a Snotter like here, that actually pulls through the wall down to this group. And you actually can set up a possible triple pull. Because what you'll notice people will do is kind of run down here, kill this Snotter, then kill this Snotter, and then they'll see these guys starting to come up, and maybe they'll try to meet them around this corner. But then they overstep this corner slightly and get pulled by the Scorpio into this other group, and you have a triple pull on your hands. That's just a possibility that sets up. Also, on top of that, you have that top group coming around. When you hit this group here, it actually lines up pretty nicely where they both kind of will come at the same exact time. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because there is a possibility of a volley like right around this corner, but it's not bad. I mean, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but this also walking around takes a little bit extra time, like where the hero's not fighting and has to wait for creatures, which just buys yourself more time. But all in all, I mean, it's not the worst setup in the world, right? It's not, you know, anything that's going to make you lose. I think just pulling this middle group instead is a little bit more efficient. But what you'll notice is if you do set it up like that, you'll notice a lot of corner abuse up next to that jelly wall trap. I've recently changed mine out to a ballista trap, and it seems to stop people from abusing that corner, and if they do, it seems to like do about 600 damage to them, which is pretty good. This group is fine. I didn't see exactly how it was set up, but I mean, looking at your previous ones, you seem to be setting up this archer plus stun combo pretty well. I feel like this dungeon may be underperforming for you right now, simply because if they don't die to these archer shots, archers plus cyclops is a pretty weak mob group in terms of time, right? In terms of actually time getting through it. However, when patch 17 comes out and they start to nerf, what do you call it? Nerf potions, I think this castle will get a lot better. Because you're going to be doing damage over time to the hero, and he's not going to be able to regen from, you know, 6 archer shots each and every mob group. So, it might be underperforming for you right now, but the patch should be at the start of the month. Depending on, I know they had a lot of network error bugs and stuff like that at the start of their last patch, and if that delayed their, you know, patch 17 coming out from fixing all of those bugs, it might be a little bit later. But usually the patches have been right after open house, so beginning of the month, you know, maybe a week into the month or something like that. So hopefully that's coming right around the corner. I'm really looking forward to that. But with that, that's number 3, so we're going to end the video here. If you guys enjoy what I do, please subscribe and leave a like. If you want to be a part of viewercast, so you can add me and you know, create a challenge if you want me to be a little lower level. You know, the same level as your castle. Don't be crazy with the level you give me. Level 2 castle, level 2 hero with like a level 19 castle or something. That's insane. But yeah, you can also email me at frenzycastleruns@hotmail.com. You can comment on my castle or comment on my videos giving me your in-game name, summoner level, castle level, stuff like that. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.